sorry for the mess, not sorry for the past, not sorry for the dirt I won't confess, not sorry for the cries. vDiva from Boulevard here, and our guest today is Harley Vendetta from fucking awesome Mr. Misery. If you don't know Mr. Misery because you lived under a stone for the last year, they are a fucking awesome, amazing band. Can I say what we did a couple of weeks ago, or is it a secret?
Yeah, I mean, you can say what we did. We posted about it, just don't mention the names of the songs. And I think we're good.
No, of course not. Okay. Then a couple of weeks ago, me and Chiara and Tony, which are VD Pictures, our video production company, flew to Sweden during these amazing times of relaxing, flying and stuff like that. We flew to Sweden to shoot a couple of videos with Mr. Misery. And it was the first time we met. We spoke before, of course. And yeah, if I must say, I told the guys at the end of the video shooting, they are super amazing. So if you never listen to them, please go and make yourself a favor, because between the new and young bands, and they are fucking young and make me feel super old. Yeah, they are extremely talented, really polite guys, which is something that I appreciate always a lot. And extremely good musicians, so please go and check them out and buy their merch and buy their album and blah 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 blah. So after this, which is actually absolutely sincere,
Thank you.
how are you?
I am good. I'm feeling real good and healthy, and like it's a Sunday afternoon, so
Yep.
I'm just doing nothing basically. So no, I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. As you said, it's a Sunday afternoon, and as we spoke before, it doesn't make any difference for me from the weekdays because for my work, it's all the same. But yeah, I'm drinking my Chit Chat beer.
Ooh.
I don't drink alcohol anymore, almost. I drink alcohol at the end of a job, and I drink beer lately during this streaming or these chats that we do with guests or with Hell Boulevard, because I realize that I'm a social drinker. I enjoy drinking if I'm with friends or family, but if I'm home alone working, I just I don't do it.
I mean, that's good though. That's good.
Yeah,
though.
it is. It is. This afternoon I was thinking what to ask you, because I want to ask you a couple of questions, and
For sure.
I knew you since, as Harley Vendetta, as a singer of Mr. Misery, since 1 year, 1.5 years. And I follow you on Instagram, and then I kind of see your way to interact with people and fans. And I wanted to ask you, how do you deal with the fans' connection that bands and musicians have today? Because you're young and you probably don't remember, but back in the days, you see a video of Guns N' Roses, you like the video, then you go and buy the album and watch the video again in the TV. Now you see a Mr. Misery video, you love the band, you go and listen to it on Spotify, you go on Facebook or on Instagram, and then you find, oh, Harley Vendetta is the singer, he has a profile, oh, let me write him, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it got so personal. And how do you deal with it? Do you like it or not?
I mean, it's actually a really good question, because obviously every member gets a lot of messages from fans and stuff like that, and I feel like you should be kind of, what do you say? You should take care of your fans, because they are the reason why you can do this. So usually when fans write to me, I tend to answer them sometimes when I have the time, and I don't move into personal territory with myself or them. I don't ask them questions about, like, private questions or something like that. I just try to keep it like platonic and just be polite, and because usually the messages are just like, oh, I love your new song, or I love your new video and you're so great. And then it's kind of easy to just make their day better by writing, thank you so much, have a great day.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's kind of how I deal with the fans and stuff like that. But I try and keep a great like barrier between that and the people I actually hang out with, because I do feel that that's important, because they don't know who I really am.
Yeah, exactly.
You
exactly.
know, there are
But
things.
sometimes it happens. I mean, of course, the vast majority of people, of fans who follow musicians and bands are super nice and polite people, which just want to show you love and appreciation, and this is amazing. But it happens on the big number, or even not so big number, that some people doesn't really get the difference in between politeness and friendship or something more. And sometimes I think you have to, like you said, keep it straight and platonic, the relation. Be careful to how you talk with them, because it could be misunderstood, or they could take. And I sometimes think that it kind of miss a bit the mystery of the.
It does, definitely. That's like a big reason too why I don't just like pour myself out there to people I don't know, because social media is such an interesting thing, because we like humans don't understand social media yet, I feel, because we don't know the impact emotionally it has on us. Because you can write something to someone online and you are completely faceless. Like you write stuff that you wouldn't normally write or ask, or people you don't even know. So for me, social media is just like a tool to promote myself and my band, and also, you know, strike a conversation with people that are into the same things as I am.
If you would not have Mr. Misery, or anyway, if you would not be a musician, do you think you would spend less time on social medias or stuff like that? Because I always think that of myself.
Oh yeah, I don't even think I would have it. I've been without Facebook for 2 months now, because it was hacked, and then also I created a band page for Mr. Mystery, so that one was hacked too. So we don't have a Facebook page right now, and that kind of sucks. But no, I wouldn't be using it at all. I think maybe just to see what's going on every now and then or something.
Yeah, I found out lately that one great thing is, of course, keep contacts with friends and family.
Yeah.
But beside that, I would also spend much less time on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever it is, because every day there is other social medias, and I see bands which are really into that and trying to keep up to date with everything that comes out, like TikTok now or something like that. But I have no clue about TikTok. Wait a second, my cat wants to come in.
Let him in.
No, actually he wants to.
I love cats.
Yeah, now the door is open. Yeah, me too. I never had cats, and then my girlfriend wanted cats, and now I'm in love with cats.
Your cats are the most beautiful cats I've ever seen,
cute.
so I understand that.
So I have another really basic question for you, but liking so much your music and you as a musician and composer, I have to ask you, what are your favorite bands? Which is a stupid question, but to me it's always something interesting to know. And which are the bands and musicians that started you, or like, you know, gave you a motivation to want to be a musician or something like that?
You know, I will answer what the second one basically, because it's easier. You said what gave you like the motivation to start playing and being in a band yourself.
Yes.
That is very different from my favorite band, because what gave me the will and strength and drive to actually pursue a career in music was probably Motley Crue, believe it or not, because I fell in love with their music and their lifestyle, and I read their books and all of that stuff, and I just sort of like, I want to live a life like that. Like maybe it started off like you wanted to party and drink and be the center of attention. As you grew older, I kind of like started getting into heavier music, and I kind of lost Motley Crue a little bit and started to like dive into more technical music, like scoring or like metal music, technical metal music. And when I kind of saw where the bands were going, like the bands that I listen to, like Dope, Wednesday 13, Motionless in White, Blackwood Bride, Slipknot, you fucking name it, all of these bands. I was like, I want to do a hybrid of all of this crap, and I want to have it be like a cinema soundtrack, you know, kind of what you do. So
yeah, Mr. Misery feels totally like that. It's
supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that we achieved that in a way.
100%.
But so I would have to say Motley Crue there, to be honest with you.
Have you ever seen them live? I guess so, in Sweden.
Yeah, and that was not as fun though.
Oh yeah, we had this talk.
Yeah, we had this talk.
Sweden, yeah.
Because I saw them in 2012, and I was in the front. I had been queuing to see Motley Crue for 12 hours. And then it was late at night. I saw them and I was like in shock how good they were, because it just blasts in your ears. You can't hear anything. You just see Nicky Six there, like 1 meter in front of you, and you're like, oh, it's so great. Then I saw them 2 years later, 2014. I was standing in the back, and like it was so bad, I can't even explain it. And because at that time I had gotten into like musicians that are really good live.
Yeah,
I kind of respect that more now, because I'm on the stage. So after I saw Motley Crue there, I was like, no, fuck, oh my God, never again.
If I may say, we had this, as I said before, we had this talking in Sweden, and I want to repeat my opinion on that.
Yeah, of course.
It happened to me with Motley Crue, the same thing that happened to you. It happened with Marilyn Manson. I saw Marilyn Manson during the first Evil Twins tour, the one with Rob Zombie.
Nice.
And first Rob Zombie played. Huge, amazing, big show. Super professional, great sound. And then Manson came on stage for his show. He was completely wasted. Couldn't really sing anything. He was like walking on 4 feet on stage and stuff like that. Yeah. And man, I loved that show. Seriously, I loved it as much as I loved the bad Motley Crue. Of course, I prefer to see a proper good show, but to me, there is a certain point where a musician or a band doesn't have to be perfect anymore. He did so much for music history that he can suck. And it happens to me with, bands like these, but also with a soundtrack composer or pop musicians. I started with Michael Jackson. If Michael Jackson would still be alive and do a shitty album, I'd still be like, thanks for existing.
Yeah.
Even if you are old and suck. So I see at this point. I mean, Vince Neil, the last show was. Yeah, we know how he was, but I was screaming his name the whole show.
No, but I respect that. I respect that point of view, though, really good, because
I think your bass player, your new bass player, had the same opinion on that. So we talked, I think, about
But it's like I respect that, because it's Motley Crue, and it's not like I hate them because I saw that show, but like I kind of like noted that they sounded really bad. But I agree with you; they've done so much for music. They have done great tours and great shows. So
yeah.
And they're starting to become a little bit older. They're not going to have the same energy. So I totally respect that, and I understand what you mean.
You say that you started with Motley Crue, or at least they gave you the motivation to want to be a musician.
Yeah.
Do you have like a pattern in songwriting? I ask because I really love your songs. Even on the composition side, on their harmonic progressions and stuff like that, and arrangements. And as a musician, I find myself often copying myself. Like rewriting the same song over and over, and I always have to fight with that. So I always like to ask to other musicians and composers what's their process in songwriting.
I've never felt I had that issue where I kind of rewrite the songs, but then again, we only have one album. That might come later. But as far as patterns go, I tend to visualize the like a scene out of a movie, or like a setting, or like a feeling or emotion of a song. So let's say you're writing a song about a vampire or something. Well, then maybe you should kind of use a more darker tone and kind of more composing, kind of like scoring feeling to it. And I just kind of like start with the riff usually, or it's a melody, and I tend to write the drums first. I program the drums. I know the beat, because if you know the beat of the song, and like it shifts into the pre-chorus and then the chorus, how do we get out of the chorus? It usually is never a problem for me to finish a song. It takes maybe an hour and a half to do that. It's because,
oh wow, that's really fast.
Yeah, I write the drums first, and I just every section.
The drums before of the melody.
Yeah, and wow, I hear the sections just in my head before I even record them. I was like, okay, I know what this is even going to sound like before even recording it. Write the drums, start with the main riffs, verse riff, pre-chorus, chorus, and then how to get out of the song with an outro. That's never a problem to me, but it starts with an emotion. Like, what do you want to write about? And I kind of, it could be fast, it could be slow.
Yeah, sure.
So that also depends, but usually starts with just programming drums, then making the guitar riffs, because in our music, the guitars are kind of driving the music forward. Yeah. After that, I kind of just head straight to the studio to record vocals, because I need to hear the guitars, vocals, and drums, and then basically I feel like I'm on board with what I'm doing.
That's really interesting. Never... actually, like with song... soundtracks and stuff like that, lots of composers start with the rhythm or
how did you do it?
Since 2 albums I start with the album title. That's what I do, because I write a lot of music generally during my free time, but I need a target to put everything together. So usually decide an album title and then song titles, and then I do the music, which 99% of the time at the moment starts with piano or orchestra or synth. Cool. And then drums, and then guitars, and then vocals.
So and vocals last.
Yeah, vocals last. Of course, you already have something going on in your head while you're writing, but the last thing is always lyrics. Lyrics are not my strength, and they are not my favorite thing to do. I'm more I like to write music. I really love to spend time in searching for arrangements and sound. And since 6-8 months I'm 100% into orchestral music, so I love to do that. And before, I love to search for sounds and writing notes. What I really like is writing the music. The lyrics are always a fight.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe I got the idea, like for the In Black We Trust, I have that. I have the refrain, I have the concept, or Zero Fucks Given, I had the full refrain, and then verses are always a struggle for me. Sometimes I'm extremely happy. Sometimes for I think half of the songs for this album and half of the old album, they were written by Chiara, because she's a great writer.
I didn't know that she wrote music.
No, she wrote lyrics.
Oh, she wrote lyrics.
Lyrics. No, lyrics. She also wrote for other bands. Cool. She's really good with that. But it's difficult for her to write lyrics for me, because I'm extremely difficult. Because there are things that I don't want to have in my music. Like, I like to go through emotions, but I want Hell Boulevard to be a happy thing at the end. Even if you got the sad songs, even if you have a melancholic song, at the end of the day, I want to be a positive feeling out of our music. Yeah. So I don't want, songs about rage or about anger or about hating someone, because I don't hate anyone that hard to write a song about it. That I would not even want to, give so much importance to anyone to write a song about how much I hate him or her. So yeah, for her, she's a much more cynical person than me. I'm more like Disney and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
Mary
a struggle
Poppins.
Yeah, exactly. Mary Poppins is my favorite movie. I have, you can't really see. You can't really see, but on the wall here, you will not see it, but there is a pentagram hanging on the wall with a little Mary Poppins in the middle.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which sums up 100% my vision of El Boulevard. A gothic, dark thing, but at the end, happy. Not happy, but at least positive. So someone wrote once good feeling gothic. So that's a good feeling good gothic. It's a good explanation for me.
I understand it though. Like the fact that you want it to be positive, obviously, I think that's a good thing. And also, like, just to cut in here and say that Mr. Mystery is completely staying out of like writing about politics and writing about our opinions, personal opinions, because I believe that music is supposed to be this magical, fantastical land that you want to step into when you go to a show or listen to an album. So keep politics and personal opinions about people out of it. And some of my favorite artists have spoken a lot about what they think and believe in politics. And I don't mind, but I feel with my band, I don't want any of that crap. And I suppose you don't either, because it's supposed to be a happy, positive outcome of it.
Yes. It's probably because, I don't know, it's always been like an escape music for me. A good escape, not like escaping from a super sad life or whatever. It's just it's my safe place, it's my good place. And so I'm not inspired to write about that stuff. But as you said, lots of my favorite musicians, like for you, do that, or they wrote political songs or extremely angry songs. Or I've listened to only black metal for 4 years when I was younger, and that even kind of forged who I am today. And I still listen to black metal, but I would not play it right now because it would not represent what I want to do, at least with the music. Then, and this comes another question that I wanted to ask you, because there is a difference, or sometimes there is not, between the person who's on stage or who's the character of the band, the Harley Vendetta of Mr. Misery, and what you are in real life every day. Is there a difference for you, or is it the same person?
I think it's a major difference, and I know that both me and the other band members of Mr. Mystery have kind of struggled with this. This is like one of the reasons why our previous bass player was fired and stuff. And but for us, it's very weird for us to go out and do this amazing tour with our first album, have all these people come up dressed like us, giving us presents and buying our merch and all of this crap, and then you come home and then like your normal life starts. And we don't live off of the art yet, the way like even Chiara does. So when we come home, there's like a major depression kind of coming in, because we have to go back to our normal boring jobs and stuff. And so it's like living a double life, to be honest with you. It's not the same character on the stage as it is right now. But it's also important for me to say that Harley, the character on stage, wouldn't exist without me. Like the real me, or whatever. You need both. You need to play off of those characters, because the real emotions in the songs are written by me as as I am, not Harley. Harley is the guy that performs them and the face outward, so to speak. So it's a double life completely.
Yeah. I like your vision. About the blue feeling after tour, it still happens every day. But I think the worst one, I had it in my first ever tour. It was 10, 12 years ago. I'm much older than you. And our first tour was, I was a keyboard player in an EBM electro band. Oh. And we made a tour as support for Blue Tangle, which are one of the big gothic electro bands. And back then I was living in Italy, in Bologna, and working as in a rent-a-car company at the airport in Bologna,
Okay.
And I had my suit that I had to wear, which was actually red and black, really, really nice. But yeah, we were the night before playing, I don't remember where, somewhere in Germany, and we were traveling with the tour bus, with the people from Lutangle, having party and having fun and having like fans for the first time in our life. And I remember the night after, I was working on my night shift at the airport.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sitting at my desk in an empty airport, like doing work stuff on the computer of the office, and
it's so weird, right?
I could cry. Could cry.
But that's the important thing, though. You because when you're on tour, you can't lose yourself in that character, because when you come home, that's not the reality you're living in anymore.
Yeah, but you have to enjoy it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's there's always so many things, especially now with, we always are. You are always reachable anywhere you are.
Yeah.
So your normal life is calling you and coming back to you really easily.
Yeah.
So I always think that on tour you should try to enjoy that in a proper way, in a as much as you can. Even forget about your daily shit if it's not your job.
So that is completely gone when we're on tour. Like, we don't think about our lives back home at all. And that's, this because you've been on tour too. You're just kind of in this bubble of amazing things and what you love to do. And every day is a new city, and every day is a new venue with new fans. Like, that is, you live in such
and even
a weird
the stress.
reality. Yeah, the stress too.
Yeah,
that's part of it. Like,
there are shitty locations, let's say.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault, or sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just a difficult place with 3 bands maybe playing and the backstage big like that and stuff like that. But I feel like that when you're on tour, all of this stuff just it turns interesting, let's say. Maybe not funny, but even the bad stuff becomes interesting.
I agree.
I wanted to ask you, I saw you during the video shooting, and I watched your videos and the dynamics in between you guys in the band. And to me, you look like an old school band. It really feels that you come from the Mötley Crüe.
Oh, it does. That's cool. Okay.
And Chiara had the same sensation. But how do you you live not in the same city, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, none of us.
So how do you live as band? It's more like, you keep in touch and do the work, band stuff online. Do you rehearse just before shows or things like that? How does it work?
I mean, it is difficult. We have had problems with it too, because, Risi lives in Gothenburg, which is in one direction. Alex and Alistair lives in Stockholm, which is another direction from Gothenburg.
Found out that.
And I live in the center. So for me, it's kind of easy. But when it comes to like the band logistics and stuff like that, we have obviously WhatsApp, where we text each other every single day what's going on, and we need to fix this and we need to fix that. I tend to do all of the music, the writing of the music. That's my main department. Risi has kind of helped out a lot on this album by fixing some of the MIDI stuff and the synthesizers. And when we are about to go on tour, usually we practice like a month in advance, because we really don't want to suck live. Like, that was like my main thing. I was like, I really don't want us to be just that visual band that looks cool but sucks live. I don't want that. I want to be respected like Avenged Sevenfold is, like eventually one day, So that's kind of how we conduct our business in Mr. Mystery. It's a lot of business calls, and that could also kind of get frustrating, because every time you see your friend on your phone, it's like, now something needs to be taken care of. So you kind of associate your bandmates with something that must be done, which can cause like us to fall apart a little bit slow like this as friends. But then we come together and then it just lights up everything. We just kind of like, oh my God, it's so nice to see you, blah, blah, blah. And we're all back in the same motions. But
yeah,
so that's
and
kind of
tours, I think, help with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If the relation at the, at the root, at the base is, it's good. Tour really helps. I live far away from my bandmates too, because they all live in Hamburg and I'm in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you say, if we mainly talk about business stuff or work, band, let's call it business, but band related stuff. But then when it's tour time, the friendship, or at least the happiness of being together and doing what you like together comes back. So
yeah,
on that, tours are great. And I think it can be hard now for some bands like yours, or maybe not like yours because you're at least in the same country, but like us, to keep that for a long time when you can't play live like it's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into that discussion because to me at the moment is pointless. It's talking about the whole musician situations, because it's what it is. So we all have to deal with that. But yeah, I fucking miss touring.
Yeah, me too. It's been too long. It was 8 months since we were on a stage. How long has it been for you?
I think the last one was December 2019. Yeah,
holy shit, okay.
Yeah, we played at the Lord of the Lost anniversary show, and I think that was the last time. I think, yes. Then we met again. We had the time to shoot the Not Sorry video, the first single of our album.
Yeah.
And right like 2 weeks after that, the lockdowns happened and everything. So we were at least just in time to do that.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing that happened to you, you got your album postponed, you got the tour postponed, everything, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we lost the Wednesday 13 tour. We were supposed to.
Right.
Yeah, we lost. Well, we did lose. I consider it as a loss because we couldn't go and play Wacken, so they did the Wacken streaming thing. Remember?
Yes.
And so we got to go to film a stream. Basically, that was it. We obviously much rather would have gone to actually Wacken and played. So we missed that. We also missed the support tour with. I can't remember the band right now, but we missed everything basically this year, and it was kind of a halt for us because our label and our booking company and our manager wants to keep the momentum with the band, obviously. Yeah. Because we're not huge, we're not even big, I would say.
No, but you had
exactly
vertical thing, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when the coronavirus entered, it was like shit. Like, what are we gonna do now? What can we do? And, just month after month, we got the call like, that's canceled and this is canceled and that's not going to happen. And we're like, fuck, okay. We kind of turned our heads to the fact that we're not going to be able to play this year at all. So we kind of, what should we do? And we focused in hard on making the album and just, staying healthy, I think is important during this time.
Absolutely.
That's all we've done basically this
year. Also because we don't really know when things are going to start to be going to normal again, hopefully soon, but it's really hard to even plan at the moment shows or things like that. We have a tour in January, and we are talking weekly with our booking and our label to find out how things are gonna happen, because the situation goes bad and good and so fast, so we'll see. It's sad, but it is what it is. But it's for example, it really sucks that you couldn't play Wacken.
Oh yeah,
properly. I mean, for every metal head, Wacken to me like the Sweden rock too. Of course it doesn't. I think it doesn't have the same history of Wacken, but Sweden rock to me in Switzerland. Watching at the Sweden Rocks, it's always like the best bill of every festival in Europe.
It's a nice festival. I've been there 3 times, so I mean, would have loved to play there, but Wacken to us that was just like holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all of our favorite bands play there, and even the smallest stage of Wacken is huge. And even the smallest crowd of Wacken is huge. We played at Rockart somewhere in Germany, which was a big festival. And we played at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shit.
I mean,
oh, my
yeah,
God.
it was 11 or 12, something like that. But still was like the biggest stage ever for us.
Yeah.
Even if it was 11 o'clock in the morning, it was so much fucking people. Of course, it was not the sea of heads that you could see later during the day. But still, for us, was fucking huge.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And having a stage big like that to run around and run, because 11 o'clock in the morning running, it doesn't really happen, but awesome, really. Awesome. So I guess Wacken would be the same, even if you play early in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, but exactly. But one thing that our manager told us that kind of made me a little bit happy was that, fuck, maybe, no, I can't say that. Shit, never mind. Never mind. I actually can't speak about it.
I totally feel you. I always try to be careful to things.
Yeah, I'm kind of I do that all the time. I say shit I'm not supposed to. Like I reveal things, and that's kind of my habit. So when I do catch myself, like I just did, I'm like, whew, dodged a bullet.
Otherwise, you could have told me later, and I can beep. Put white noise sound on.
Well, so I can tell you right now then.
No. Then you avoid me work later.
Okay.
You will tell me later.
Okay, cool.
So what do you prefer, live or studio? Or if you prefer something. I personally do prefer studio for a few reasons. I kind of force myself to be a public persona, which is nice and challenging, and I love challenges, so I'm super fine doing that. But it's not my natural place. I see your videos live, and it feels like to me, for you, is your natural place. I see friends of other bands doing the same thing we do on stage, and I look at them and I think, that's what you were born to do. And that happens with you too. But what's your personal feeling about it?
You mean, do I prefer like the live?
If you feel yourself more like a person who's songwriter and studio guy, or more like a stage, I don't know, in Italy we say stage animal or something like that.
Oh, I understand. Okay. That is kind of a tough question because like you, I'm not as good as you, but I do love being in the studio writing music and composing music. And I think my favorite part is giving
By the way, sorry if I interrupt you.
No problem.
As not as good as you. Shut up.
No, but I've heard your stuff, man. It's pretty crazy.
I did with yours, yes.
But being in the studio, as you know, like writing music is an escape for you as it is for me. And being able to see something come together, and like, I just can't stop. I can sit all night to do it. And I'm like, whoa. And that emotion, when you give birth to something that a few hours ago didn't even exist, that kind of really gets me going. And I think it might even get me more going than being on the stage. It's hard though, because being on a stage, it is very special and it's very fun to get the energy from the crowd and stuff. But I don't know, man. Writing,
that feeling is amazing. I totally agree with that. Sometimes you listen to your even older things, like stuff that you wrote last year or 2 years ago. And at least I sit there and I think, did I really did that? Was really me? Because that's I totally agree on that. That's the amazing feeling of create something that wasn't there. And sometimes it's good. I mean, not always. Sometimes we write, at least I do, some really shitty stuff, which I try not to listen to. But sometimes you write good stuff, and listening back to it really motivates you to go on and try to write a better song every time.
Now, so honestly, I would say studio then, because that's also like a reason I always tell people that ask me like, if you can't be a rock star, what would you be? Like I would fall back on kind of be a studio guy, score music, write music for others, produce and mix other people's music, because it is something that I thoroughly enjoy. So,
but the stage does give you motivation to when you're like back from the tour.
yeah.
Do you feel like that energy to write new songs? Because it happens to me. Like you're back on stage and you got all the reaction from the people. Even you kind of realize which are the songs that really that the people really reacts to and stuff like that. So it always happens to me that when I'm back from tour, I kind of have like 2-3 songs that I wrote in my mind while I was on stage.
It's the same for me. Yeah, it works exactly. It's 3 songs on this new album. I wrote in my head the way you exactly described it in my head in the tour bus, and then when I came home, you have this amazing energy. I just kind of sat down and I just did them. I recorded the guitars and everything and just kind of went with it, and they turned out great because you have this. You have this. Some songs works better live than they do in the studio, and
absolutely,
you know what I mean. So you kind of know, oh, this is gonna sound good live. So I kind of fall into that and try to write songs that will kind of fit a live scenario better.
Yeah. And sometimes you discover songs during your own shows.
Yeah.
It happens to us with a song called Beach Next Door, which was a song from the In Black We Trust album. And yeah, we liked it, and it was a pretty straight rock and roll song. Never thought we would make a single out of that. And then after like a couple of weeks of playing it live, because it was the right song for live. It was fast and straight to your face song, so it was good for live. But then we thought, this song could be a video and a single, but we would never think about that if we would not play it live on tour for a few times. Because as you said, you see the reaction, you see how the people react to the song itself, so it can be a good motivation. One last question I have, because I watch your old videos, I watched your photos and your album covers, and I listen to your music, and it's clear, as you say, that you are inspired by movies and images. And so, stupid question, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie, or what do you like? What do you like in terms of visuals, movies and stuff like that? Even art, paintings, whatever.
Oh man, obviously, like I like a lot of movies. I don't have a favorite really, to be honest with you. Like a favorite movie, I like everything from like what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, and I like Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton, and I like slow dramas and stuff like thrillers and stuff. A good movie is a good movie, and I am a big movie fanatic. Basically, I tend to. Only reason why I write music is because I see it visually. So, which is why I respect movies so much, because it's literally a culmination of all types of arts coming into one. So there's acting, there's music, there's editing, there's special effects, there's like people working on these special effects for months. Like all of these different kind of ways of making art come together, and that's a movie. So it is, to be honest with you, movies are, in my opinion, probably the most like grandiose of art you can ever do. And even more so than painting like a beautiful painting. But that's just me. But
it's absolutely something to you can't really disagree with that. So
and so, which is what when we saw what you guys did, we were just like, damn, like it looks like you guys have been working in Hollywood. Like we need to work with them, and thank God you were available for that. So
yeah, I think it's just because we are really similar to you in that matter. Maybe it's because Chiara is a big music fan too. I'm a musician and a big music fan. Before being a musician, I'm a big music fan. And people always think that if you're a musician, you don't have favorite bands or stuff like that. And it happens for lots of musicians, but I still really enjoy being a fan of bands and musicians. As you know, I shot, 20, 25 videos for Lord of the Lost, which are really one of my favorite bands. When you know them and when you work with them, the relation to the whole thing kind of changes. If you
Oh,
want.
yeah,
So,
I would assume that, yeah.
but when I go to the shows, I like turn that half of my brain that work with them off, and I watch the show in the same way if I would have never worked with them.
Yeah.
I'm luckily able to do that because I would miss that, and it would happen with you too, guys, or with bands I like. If I would ever work like Motley Crue, which are one of my favorite bands too, I could still be able to divide the two things. By the way, Motley Crue talking. Did you listen to the new Tommy Lee album, which came out 2 days ago?
No, I didn't even
tried.
know.
Yeah,
Is
me
it good?
neither. Yeah, if you like hip hop, electro, and these kind of things.
I mean,
it's probably good. It's interesting. And from Tommy Lee, actually, I wasn't expecting a rock album because he never did, even with Methods of Mayhem or his...
Oh, what the fuck was that band called? Methods of Mayhem, yeah.
Yeah, Methods of Mayhem, yes. He always kind of went to this hip-hop stuff. So if you like that, you can try to listen to it. It's definitely interesting.
I mean, I do like hip-hop, and I do like I even like what kind of metal bands are doing with hip-hop, and a good example is the band Falling in Reverse.
Oh, that's a crazy good band.
Yeah, I really think that... I mean, I don't like their previous work at all, like the whole shouty pop punk, whatever fuck it's
the
called.
last album is crazy good.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking. Like, they kind of reinvented their whole thing, and I think that's a great seller because that band is gonna just go like this because they kind of incorporate contemporary pop music with hip hop, and he's kind of really good at rapping too with these amazing melodies. Like, I don't know, man, I just really respect that. And if Tommy Lee's new album is something like that, I mean...
it's more just hip hop. There is not much of anything from rock or metal, but it's definitely well done. It's well produced and
cool.
And what about 6 a.m.?
Yeah, I was about to actually mention them. Them I do like though. Not their latest song. Maybe it's Time. I was like, yeah, it's an okay melody in the chorus, but it's like it's no wow thing. What they did when Nicky Six released that book a long time ago, the Heroin Diaries. They released that. I think that was the debut album. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was because the second one was This Is Gonna Hurt. So
yeah, that's correct. Yeah. But that one, the first one with Life Is Beautiful and a bunch of those other songs, they were just amazing, and I really love that shit. So
the Life Is Beautiful song, I think, kind of saved me a couple of months of sadness in my life. It's a great, inspiring song. The book was great. The artwork was great. And same for, I would say, This Is Gonna Hurt.
Yeah, I like that too.
But then to me also it kind of started to... I lost a bit interest into that because it started to sound a bit everything too similar.
Yeah.
But that was a great, amazing project. So great songs, and I think I also got inspiration for a couple of songs of my old bands from that album. Pretty sure. Yeah,
and also Nicky Six, because we spoke about lyrics before. Nicky Six is absolutely amazing at writing lyrics, and it's a guy that I have looked at his lyrics without even listening to the music and just kind of analyze. And his wordplay is amazing, but that kind of tends to happen when you're a book nerd. Like, you kind of know how to formulate your words in any shape or form to make this poetry that he does, and it's absolutely amazing. So big respect to Nicky Six for that. So
absolutely, 100%. So I think it's fine. We are at 50 minutes, which I think is
that's good.
Proper timing. Thank you so much, Harley, for doing this.
Thank you, Matteo.
Really happy to talk with you. I really enjoyed it. And we talk in the next days because we have business.
Yes.
And and for all the people, just wait for something great.
Wait for
from Mr. Misery.
Produced by vD Pictures.
Yeah. That was a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Harley. Send greetings to your guys.
I will. Say hi to Kia again for me.
I will do that. Thank
Bye,
you so
Matteo.
much.
Thank you.
Ciao, Harley.
Ciao.